This Arc 3.0 Warlock build is absolutely insane. I see a lot of people saying that Warlocks got shafted with Arc 3.0, and I think I'd have to disagree just based on this build. We are able to take advantage of all the new aspects of Arc 3.0, along with the brand new seasonal exotic fusion rifle and the recently buffed Crown of Tempests. When we put these all together, we essentially have unlimited abilities and incredible ad clear. I'm going to show you how to put it all together piece by piece to get the most out of it, so if you enjoyed the video, a like and subscription is greatly appreciated. Let's dive right into it by taking a look at Arc 3.0 for Warlocks. When it comes to your super, you have a bit of a choice here. They both have the same cooldown, but Chaos Reach is going to be more useful for single target damage and Stormcaller for ad clear. Healing Rift will be ideal for survivability and healing our teammates, and I prefer Burst Glide, but use whichever you're comfortable with. For your melee, again you have a choice here. I am using Chain Lightning as it specifically causes the jolt effect on all targets, which synergizes better with our build and exotics. However, Ball Lightning might be the play in higher tier content when you need to keep some distance. We will then take Pulse Grenade. This deals great damage and can have the duration extended by our Fragments. For our aspects, first we will take Electrostatic Mind. This allows us to create ionic traces every time we get an arc ability kill or defeat a jolted or blinded target. Next we will take Arc Soul. You can choose between this and Lightning Surge, and while the teleport melee is awesome, I feel like it's going to get you killed really easily in high tier content. Arc Soul benefits our entire team. Whenever we drop our Rift, we create Arc Buddies for everyone who passes through, and it reduces our Rift cooldown when we are near allies. If we are amplified at any point with our Arc Buddy, which we usually are, it's going to turn into an overcharged Arc Soul, which has a much higher rate of fire. These little guys can feed into Electrostatic Mind by giving us more chances at creating ionic traces. Moving on to our Fragments, first we will take Spark of Beacons. Whenever we are amplified, our Arc special weapon kills create a blinding explosion. This again allows us to make ionic traces easier by blinding targets constantly. Next, we will take Spark of Shock. This makes our Arc Grenades jolt targets for nice added AoE damage and allows us to sort of prime our Chaos Reach to get extra jolt damage throughout its duration. Next, we will take Spark of Discourse, which will grant all of our arc weapons a chance to create ionic traces on kills, making it so basically everything we do creates an ionic trace. And finally, we will take Spark of Magnitude, which increases the duration of our grenade. Moving on to our loadout, the first piece to take a look at is the brand new exotic fusion rifle, Delicate Tomb. This is a very unique and very strong weapon for Arc 3.0. Final blows with this weapon have a chance to generate ionic traces. Combined with our Fragments, we are able to consistently create ionic traces on kills, and whenever you pick up an ionic trace with this weapon equipped, it will make your next shot apply jolt to the target. This turns the weapon into an ad clear machine, and it's very easy to loop over and over again, since you'll constantly be creating traces. The Catalyst will reload the weapon when picking up traces as well, so it's definitely going to be worth getting that done at some point. We will pair this with the Crown of Tempests exotic helmet. This was recently changed so that all arc ability or jolt final blows reduce the cooldown on all of our arc abilities. We can basically have this active at all times now. You could lean further into the ionic traces and use the new exotic helmet Fallen Sunstar. This buffs our ionic traces further and might be useful if you're missing some of the mods that we're about to go over. Now this build is going to be all about generating arc elemental wells like crazy. Leaning into the ability spam nature of this build, we will take Elemental Ordnance, which creates arc wells on grenade kills, and Melee Wellmaker, which generates arc wells on melee kills. We will also take Elemental Armaments, which will make our weapons have a chance to create arc wells as well, and it allows Delicate Tomb to create ionic traces and elemental wells all at the same time. We will pair all of these mods with Bountiful Wells, which will create a duplicate elemental well every time we create an elemental well. And finally, you can choose between Seeking Wells, which makes our wells gravitate towards us. It's very helpful for collecting everything without even having to think. Or if you want, you can take Font of Might, which will boost our arc weapon damage every time we pick up a well. I personally recommend Seeking Wells as it's very inexpensive and leaves room for other mods on our armor. For example, on our arms, we can take advantage of things like Momentum Transfer and the seasonal mod Focusing Strike. Both of these will reduce our cooldowns further, but you will need to swap these out for champion mods when needed. Finally, we should have room for one big artifact mod, and we have a choice between two very strong options. I am currently using Thunderous Retort, which makes our super deal more damage when we cast it while amplified or critically damaged. We are basically always amplified with this build, so it's very easy to take advantage of this mod, and it adds 20% damage to your super and pairs great with Chaos Reach. Or you can take Lightning Strikes twice. This is going to reduce our grenade cooldown even further, allowing for some insane spammability with our grenades. Both are great options, so choose whichever one you prefer. When it comes to stats, I would recommend as high of discipline as you can get, and then prioritizing resilience afterwards for survivability. For your heavy weapon, you can really use any arc heavy that you enjoy. I am currently using Hothead, which pairs great, but you could also use a linear fusion like Storm Chaser, or an arc LMG for overload if needed this season. This build is a great starting point to dive into Arc 3.0 as a Warlock. There are some other exotic pairings that can certainly take us in different directions, but this checks all the boxes and it's very easy to put together and steamroll through everything in front of you. You can of course use other things like Geomag stabilizers, or I'm even hearing good things about getaway artists. We're definitely going to check those out, but be sure to let me know in the comments if you're hearing something that's sort of going under the radar, and we'll definitely be sure to cover it here on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave a like and smash that subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next one.